When you are not in harmony with yourself, what are the 5 major things that happen to you? Well, the easiest one is you are at dis-ease, which is another way to say disease. Well, it's what happens eventually when you are not in harmony with yourself. There's parts of you that are like, oh, and when it's like constantly like, oh, it's going to create things that aren't good, right? So harmony is when everything's working together and it's all performing the tasks that it's supposed to. But what if you took the stomach and you did this every single day? Do you think when you give it food that it's like, yay, food? It's no, it's like, oh, okay, we got the food. I guess we gotta actually get through this food. Is it going to actually digest it properly when it's doing this instead of, oh, yay, food? No. So this is a very simple way of how your body works. When you are not good with you, then you're at disease, which creates, well, you can fill in the blank. I'm not a doctor, so I'm not allowed to say it. But it's basically maths of physics. If you're doing this to something, it's probably not going to work after a certain amount of time, yeah? Thing is, majority of our body does not have nerve endings. Go research that if you want. Majority of your body doesn't have nerve endings. So if there's something that is inside here that doesn't have a nerve ending and you're constantly doing this to it, well, there you go. So that's the first thing. When you're not in harmony with yourself, you're going to have dis-ease. When you're not in harmony with yourself, you are at war with yourself. So this is your heart space. Heart space is where your spiritual self gets to speak, okay? So your spiritual self speaks through feelings and emotions because that's the only thing that the brain gets in your primitive years of understanding self. When you get to a place where your brain can actually read energy, then you get to the place where you have a greater, deeper understanding of self on a whole new level. But in the beginning stages of understanding who you are as a human, you need the emotions from your spirit to signal to the brain that something needs to change or something needs to move. So when you have harmony between the two, then you can work out and there's no separation between the two. So when you have separation, so when you don't have harmony, the separation from your heart and mind. So what happens is like your heart gets a certain amount of play time. It's like, oh, I can play because I'm having a cup of coffee for half an hour. I can just fully release and feel good. And then the other 20 hours of your day, well, I don't know how late you stay up, but the other part of your day is all based on logic and reason. What's next? What's to do? What's the structure? And then this doesn't get any playtime. So eventually this is going to start to come out more and you're going to feel bad. Well, it's because you've been ignoring it. So you're going to have a polarity. You're going to have a war between the two because this one wants to play and this one wants to play and they have to take turns. Well, they can be in harmony and they can actually speak at the same time, but you have to learn that whole process. So when you're not in harmony, this and this are at war with one another. So you have a dis-ease, war within self. When you are not in harmony, you will intensify your emotions because when there's this war between the two of them, something that hurts this might not make sense to this. One huge example is casual sex. Casual sex is going to affect this. This, however, says, it's no big deal. All the people on TV do it. It's not a problem. I've done it before. Yeah. But when you integrate your energy with people that are not of the same caliber as you, you take on their stuff. So this, after a while, you either become really numb and you don't feel a thing, or you become explosive and you have rage anytime that you get into that aspect. So anytime you think about anything to do with sexual relations, there's just one example. There's a lot of different examples, but this is one example. Your heart is like, no, we are not doing that. So we are taking the stage. We are raging it out. But if this one is the one that has a higher amount, it's like, no, we need pleasure. You are gonna calm down because we need release. Okay, because some people use sex as a release or whatever it is. So even though it's going to hurt this one's going to be louder and it's going to do what it wants to do. So you're getting a higher range of emotion because of the war that's going on between. So one has to try and speak louder than the other. And the more time that goes on, the more that they really separate. Right? Even more. The distance between the two becomes more. So, the next one on your 5 signs that you are repressed is that you're only comfortable being around people in one aspect of who you are. So, if you're around family and you're sweet and respectful and kind and all of the things, and when you go to work, you're this raging, insane manager that micromanages people, or blah, 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 and you tell the head of this company what to do and this company, and then you look at what they're doing and you don't trust them. You really don't trust people. You're all over the place. And then you go to your new boo, and you're all like, oh, it's so nice, everything's great, we're out for dinner, it feels good. You have to play all of these roles to create peace in your life based upon your thoughts of what these people will think about you. There is a way to pull all of this together, obviously, otherwise I wouldn't be here, but that's the next one. You have a lot of different aspects of who you are. Some people call it masks. I find that a very negative term. I like to call it like the hot seat. It's like the thing, the aspect of you that is being drawn out in that moment. But here's the thing. You can get to a place where we can take all of those things and we can put them together and root them in your desire. But that's what I do. This is not this video. So this video is about what's the next one. The next sign that you are not in inner harmony, you're not happy. You have signs of wanting to stare at a wall and just look at life and go, what's the meaning of life? And you're at places and you lose yourself. You're just sitting there and you're just like lost. Or you just feel so, when you're by yourself. You just have this low state of energy that just takes you. And you want to feel better, but you don't know how. But here's the thing. When you learn how, you can fill those places with the other aspects of who you are, which is your energy. And you learn to get into those deep places that really hurt. And you learn to make them what makes you better, more wonderful. But it's your choice. Do you want to continue to live with these 5 things that make you out of harmony? Or are you ready to really dive deep into what harmony can mean for you? It doesn't matter how much you have behind your name. You could have 12 companies and $1 billion behind your name. Pulling these aspects of you together will allow you to feel good. It will allow you to have greater inside of you. So, The choice is yours, as always, and you're good at making choices, aren't you? So what is it that you really want? My name is Brown and Taylor. It's my pleasure to share this information with you.